Do you play the persecutor in relationships? In what is known as the drama triangle, there are three key roles or three key dynamics. There's the rescuer, the hero, who looks for someone to save. Then there's the victim, almost like the damsel in distress that says, help me, I need saving. And then there's the persecutor. So remember please to watch my other videos on the rescuer and the victim. Now let's talk about the persecutor. The persecutor is the person that says, I'm right, you're wrong, or tends to judge everyone very harshly, very critically, and tends to be quite condemnatory and very judgmental. The persecutor might also say, see how bad my life is, and it's all your fault. Now, how can you have three roles in a relationship? How can you have a victim, a rescuer, and a persecutor in a relationship of two people? Well, what happens is both the rescuer and the victim can also turn into the persecutor. So the rescuer becomes resentful, angry, or bitter because the victim is doing what the victim does. And so the rescuer judges them harshly and says, see, my life is a mess and look what I'm doing for you and it's all your fault. And the rescuer starts to persecute the victim. And the victim starts to become resentful towards the rescuer for all that they're doing, as well as for the fact that the victim is staying as a victim. And so then the victim turns around and says, see, everything in my life is wrong and it's bad and it's all your fault. Now, before we talk about how unhealthy these three roles are, where does the role of persecutor begin? It begins in childhood. So perhaps you as a child watched your parents doing it to each other. Maybe mum or dad were really critical, harsh and condemnatory towards the other, and you said, oh, that's how relationships are, or that's love, even though it's a twisted definition of love. Or perhaps that's the way you got attention, by mum and dad being harsh, critical and condemnatory, and you thought, aha, this is something that I can do. And so when you do that, you get this false idea of being loved or connecting with people, and you get this false sense of significance and power. And as you know, if you play that role, it's never ever satisfying because all you're doing is looking for what's wrong in other people. So how unhealthy is the persecutor, the victim, and the rescuer? It's a very unhealthy dynamic. It's a toxic dynamic because no one ever gets their needs met. There isn't real love, there isn't tenderness and kindness and compassion, there isn't encouragement, there isn't growth, and it isn't a symbiotic relationship at all. There's always a power imbalance. And so what happens is no one gets their needs met, there continues to be frustration, anger, resentment and bitterness, and there's always a clash rather than a real deep connection, a connection heart to heart and soul to soul. Now, if you're one of these people, the victim, the rescuer, the persecutor, first and foremost, make sure you watch my other videos on the rescuer and the victim, and also go to my website and book a one-on-one session with me.